Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Boss Babe Business Show. I am your host, Katan, and today we have a wonderful guest, Lacole Smith, joining us from AL Publishing and Consulting. She is well known in our community for helping people with sharing their stories. She is also going to be the brand that I will be publishing my book with as well. Welcome, Lacole. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm excited, ready to get into the interview and just kind of be able to share our stories again. I feel like the more we do these interviews, the more we're opening up an opportunity for people to learn more about who we are, but also to encourage other business owners or creators or dreamers out there to get on and share their story as well. So I'm feeling good. And I've been very busy today getting everything prepared for our Soft Girl Sunday event too. So I've just been so it's nice to take a quick little pause. Um, okay, so let's go ahead and get started, Lacole. First, could you please introduce yourself, share a little bit about yourself, share your story, and then tell us about your business?
Okay, my name is Lacole Smith. I am um, a mother, a wife. I have grandchildren that call me Nana. So I'm excited about that. With the holidays coming, that means a whole lot. I love family. Um, I just, right now, I'm just living life because I have a lot going on with my health. I have a lot going on with other things. So right now, I'm just living life and working on making a change. I'm gonna say that.
So, when you're saying working on making a change, what kind of change are you talking about?
I'm talking about making a business change, health change, attitude change. And I ain't talking about my attitude. I'm talking about dealing with the attitudes of others. So don't don't
Thank you for
don't,
the
don't be
clarification.
surprised. Don't be surprised if I look at the phone and I don't pick up. So I might be busy. Call you back later. Just be reminded that you heard it on Boss Babe blog that you will get a call back if I do not because it's gonna be some changes around here. So yes.
So what it sounds like is an overall lifestyle change is everything. You're making some changes and updates. Um, would you like to share just a little bit of what inspired this change? Why are you in this place right now where you're wanting to do that?
Um well, the first part of why I wanted to make the change was um I'm getting ready to come off of my chemo pill for to keep me from getting breast cancer.
Mm,
So a lot of people have been hearing my story about me being on the chemo pill, me being excited about coming off the chemo pill. Um, then I got hit with the fact that I have another kind of cancer to deal with.
mm,
And being that I'm coming off of a chemo pill, which can control it, it might not be able to be controlled anymore. So now I have to work that much harder to make sure that I can keep it under control. More doctor visits, more intel, and once everything gets, once all these testing and probing that they doing gets done with, I'll I'll be able to share that story in more detail about what kind of cancer it is, the things that I have to deal with. It's more common than I even knew. A lot of people um, have to deal with it, so it was kind of like a big shocker because you never want to hear the words you might have cancer, you have cancer, you're dealing with cancer. Um, for the last 4 years, I've been a cancer patient anyway because even if you're on a preventative, you're still a cancer patient.
yeah.
So it's just been a lot dealing with it. Um, had the mild heart attack, so that was another thing that was like, okay, girl, get yourself together. You know, stop stressing, stop worrying about stuff. You can only do what you can do. And, for the longest I thought I was Wonder Woman because that was my childhood idol. So I thought I was her. And my body said, no, boo, you are not Wonder Woman. So I'm gonna get you. need you to take a pause. I'm gonna need you to chill out because that is not, where you at. That is not what you're doing. That is not what we're doing. So definitely had to make sure that I'm making sure that I'm healthy, not just for myself, but for my children and my grandchildren, and more so for my grandkids because they're young and they love their nana. And
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm around to spend time with them, do things with them. I want to see them graduate. I want to see them get married. And in order to do these things, I have to make sure that self is prepared. So,
Yeah. I can definitely understand how this is one of those moments where I feel like we should all have this mindset of take care of ourselves, take care of our health, because this is a do or die situation, literally. But the problem that we tend to see is that people don't necessarily do that until they're in that position or in that space. So I feel like this message needs to be heard, not just for people that are going through it right now and trying to navigate their ways through this, but also people who probably are sitting back feeling like that's not me, who no, it can be you,
right.
and not just with cancer, with anything.
Anything.
There's so many different things in your life that can be that can happen to you due to you not taking care of yourself, not taking care of your health. And some of these things happen to people who do try to take care of themselves and put in effort to better their lives. So I hope that for anyone that's listening, takes this. People who are going through it know that you're not alone. People who are not going through it understand that you have to prioritize yourself now, because your body, like Lacole was saying earlier, is going to tell you you need to rest, you need to sit down, you need to stop, even though you want to keep going. And then there's something that you said, Lacole, about being Wonder Woman. And I feel like historically, culturally, um, speaking towards, I would say Black women, because I am a Black woman and that's all I know. But I'm sure other women can relate to this as well, where we kind of have associated the idea of being Wonder Woman or being that person for everyone as a positive thing, being the reason why people get things done as a positive thing, being the reason why people get up and push as a positive thing, when in reality, that relationship is very much unhealthy for yourself and for the other person, because you are now creating a dependency where if you're not the one pushing to make it happen, no one else is getting up to push and make it happen. How many people have been that person that's always financially helping other people, right? And then there comes a day when you need that financial support and help and investments poured back into you. Those people cannot help you. You know why? Because the relationship has been built off of you being the person to be the one to do that. And how many times have you had emotional relationships where you've always been that rock for someone? And in the moment where you are breaking down inside internally, you're now needing that rock. And they cannot provide that for you. You know why? Because their emotional existence has been created around you being their rock and them not having to do that internal work for themselves. So, how are they going to be able to provide any kind of emotional support for you when they haven't been pushed to do the emotional support for themselves? Because there's always been people around them saying, hey, I know, I get it. You're a hot mess all around, but I'm here and I'm your rock. And I'm going to keep being your rock. So you don't need to do that extra work. I'm here. There hasn't been those conversations of, I'm tired too. I'm going through things too. I can't take this on right now. If I help you, I'm going to need some support as well, because I'm not a robot. These are the things that we have to have more conversations like that, because if not, we end up hurting our support systems. Our support system ends up hurting themselves to the point where they are now not able to help or support anyone outside of themselves, and are barely able to do that emotionally, physically, all of that. So I really want to just emphasize that idea of being that Wonder Woman. Although you can be a super, someone can look at you and feel like you're just Wonder Woman just because that's what they feel like, because of all the great things you do. But do not mix up someone being admirable of you with somebody being dependent upon you, because those two get mixed up
Yeah.
too often. And sometimes it's not on purpose, and sometimes it is on purpose. I had someone say to me, oh, psh, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even get up and do it. And I said, well, it ain't happening no more. You're gonna have to get up and do it now.
Right.
Whether you
Right.
meant to say that because you were trying to subliminally put me in the mind frame of, wow, it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for me. I don't want that. Have it. because what that means is every day I have to wake up and push for myself, and I have to push for you too, because I have to wonder, are you taking care of yourself? Are you putting yourself first? Are you stepping away from situations that are going to harm you? Are you letting go of these places that clearly do not support you? Are you trying? Are you working towards that? You don't need to be perfect, because I'm not perfect and there's things that I'm working on. But am I going to be sitting and be your dependency worker? You know how they have social workers? I'm not your dependency worker, so I can't do it. And so sometimes people, they mix that up. Oh man, I just wish I had your energy, because if I did, I get this done. But I'm glad you're here, because I don't have to worry about, you need to worry about it. Today is your last day. Let me show you how to do it so you can do it moving forward. I do have a business where you can receive these services. However, if you are wanting to do this for yourself, or you are unable to purchase the services, that means the only other option is to do it yourself. We're not quitting. We're not giving up on ourselves because we're frustrated. We're not throwing in the towel. We're learning how to do it for ourselves, and we're not going to be having other people rely on us, or relying on other people to do everything for us. Some people say, well, what do I do if I don't have that person who supports me and pushes me? You get up and you push for yourself, because we're a team. And there is a level of selfishness in always expecting that somebody is going to show up and be Wonder Woman for you all the time, knowing that they are only human too. There is a little bit of selfishness there to be like, well, I don't have to worry about it because she'll do it for me. Don't think like that. Start thinking like, let me take care of it myself. And if I need help, I'll reach out. I'll see what it is that I can do. That's what we need to start thinking like. Because if we all thought like that to begin with, we would be so much further as a people, because we wouldn't be draining our resources dry to the point where when we now need some help, there's no more resources left. And we never said, hey, let me replenish this. So it's just, we're just done. Everybody just, that's it. That's all I can give you. If you're in a bad situation financially, that's all I got for you. If you are physically hurting, sorry, I'm physically tired too from all that running back and forth you had me doing when you could have just done it yourself. So, we got to get out of that mind space. So women, men, whoever, please don't mix up the two of like someone admiring you versus someone depending on you. And when you start to hear those words where people are making you feel as if it's leading towards dependency, set that clear boundary that it is not going there.
Yeah.
I'm so glad, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even remember to do it. This is your last reminder today.
Mm-hmm.
Set your alarm clock,
Mm-hmm. Or do
because
like me,
all the
write it
things,
on the calendar.
write it on a
Write it.
calendar, set your alarm clock, and show that you care about this the way you care about everything else in your life. Because I am not your personal assistant, and I'm not your emotional punching bag or a toolbox. I'm a whole nother person with whole other responsibilities for myself as well. We are here to support each other. But if you think that every time you're just on a low and you just need a recharge, that I'm just going to be here recharging and recharging and recharging, and then you think I'm supposed to go back to my life uncharged, and it's
Yeah.
not going to work. It's not going to work. I had to cut that. And then another thing too, for people who are the ones that do that to other people, you don't realize how much of a disservice you're doing yourself, because there's something emotionally and internally that does not feel good when you are always asking and always that person pulling and taking. And I'm not saying asking when you're asking for help, because we all know that we're not robots and we're humans. I'm talking about when you know that you are, the only reason why you're doing something is because another person is pushing for you to do it. And that's always going to be the case. I don't need to worry about my fitness, because she's going to push me to go to the gym anyway. So I'm not really too worried about it. She'll push me. I don't need to worry about getting up on time, because she's going to call me and ask me, did I get up on time and am I awake? You don't see it, but there's something working with that system within you where you're going to start to feel a little upset or disappointed, because who wants to consistently be draining someone? Something in you is going to feel bad. I've seen it in people. And then they start to mistreat other people because they're angry with themselves on the fact that they're not doing what they're supposed to do for the people who are doing for them. So you have to have something in you that even when you don't feel like it, push and invest in another person on the same level that they have invested on you. So I'm really glad that you said that about that Superwoman thing, because I just needed to put that out there for anyone that needs to hear it. It's okay. We can be, even Superwoman has off days. Even she don't see her in the
Mm-hmm.
Superwoman suit every single day. You don't.
Exactly. She be in no
Superman
regular
too.
clothes. She was walking around in regular clothes
Mm-hmm.
as a as a supposed disguise that wasn't a disguise, but yeah.
Yeah. So she may be Superwoman, but she still has to rest. She has to still recharges. That's what happens in these super movies, right? They don't just keep fighting battles every single day and night and never go back to their lair and recharge. So let's not forget that part when we're calling somebody Superwoman. Oh, you're just so amazing. That's great. Now it's time to
Yeah.
charge. So
And then we also have to look at the fact that it's always something that can break you because every super person has something that weakens them.
yeah,
So it could be their health, it could be their mindset, it could be whatever it is that weakens them, but something inside that superhero or that person that thinks that they're a superhero is something that can break them. And for the first time in my whole life, I actually felt broken the day that I received the news. And to be in a vulnerable spot when you've never been that vulnerable before and people see you be vulnerable lets you know that it was a lot of emotion involved. It was basically I was playing the things of how I felt when I heard stuff about my mom, when I heard stuff about my dad and the outcome that they've had. And then I'm looking at both of my parents passing in their 60s and I'm in my 50s. And I'm thinking, do I only have a couple of more years left to do anything? So the more I was thinking, the more my body was just releasing. And I started crying and I couldn't stop crying.
yeah,
Um, I felt broken, I felt hurt, I felt tired. And when you're in a spot like that, whether somebody sees it or they don't see it, when you're broken, it takes a lot to build yourself back up. And I'm still building, but I'm grateful for the people that have been pouring into me. I'm grateful for the mindset changes that I had been making prior to this, because had I not been making those mindset changes, had I not had the people pouring into me with positivity and I'm removing negativity from my surroundings before this happened, who knows what could have happened. But
yeah,
when you have somebody and you tell somebody how you feel and you tell somebody, hey, this is what's going on with me. I might not be my best. I might be off. Things might not be like they normally would be. And somebody tells you, if you need something, just let me know. Or I got your back. Or this hurts me because I see you in this state. We have to be careful how we treat people because you never know what they're going through. And as a strong person, a lot of people don't even know that I'm going through anything because they never see it. They
yep,
never get the opportunity to see that break. They never get the opportunity to see that weakness because all they see is the person that I present to them.
hmm,
And we present a lot of different things, but a lot of times we're not the person that we're presenting when we're off the camera. We're not the person that we're presenting when we're behind closed doors, when we're out of sight of other people. So just be mindful, before you being hateful, before you coming at somebody wrong, before you trying to judge them ahead of time. If this is not their character, find out what's going on.
yep,
Ask some questions because if you know this person is always doing, 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 and all of a sudden something is off, hey, your strong friend might need a friend. Keep that in mind.
yep,
Strong people need to be refilled too, like Katan was saying. If I'm pouring and pouring and pouring and nothing's going back into me to refill me, eventually something's gonna break. It's just
yep.
like a car. If you drive that car and you don't put oil in it, your motor gonna go out and you're gonna be
Guilty.
stuck on the side of the road. So
Yeah, get that oil. Get those oil
definitely,
changes, ladies. It's about to be winter time. We can't be out here with the car stopped. I'm just putting that out there too. And fill up your gas tanks early. And
uh,
yes. Lacole, you definitely nailed it. I think there was a couple things that you said, and it made me have like a few different thoughts. But like that factor of like, check on your strong friends. I feel like it's a little unfortunate too, though, that we have to wait to see somebody in quote unquote vulnerability or weakness in order to care about them or in order to be considerate. And it is just a science thing. That's just the truth. That's why a lot of people use their emotions or what they're going through to bring in sales or to bring in clients. People do that. Sometimes they do it intentionally, sometimes unintentionally. And the motives behind it are different. So, because they know if I just say, hey, I have some earrings. You want to purchase these earrings? They're really stylish. They're really cute. That's cool. Some people will purchase. But if you say, hey, I'm having a terrible day right now. My car just got repoed and I don't know where I'm going to sleep tonight. Could you purchase some earrings? Somebody wants to make a purchase. We have to pull, and this is not to judge anyone that does that, but this is what I'm saying. We have to pull and work really hard not to be the person that waits until someone is down on their knees before we say, I want to pour into you. I want to help you. Not to
Yeah.
be the person to wait until someone has crashed down to say, hey, is everything going okay? Check in on your friends on regular times. Ask people how they're doing during regular times. Don't wait until the funerals to say, hey, are you all right? Is everything okay? Can I offer some support? I understand that we are busy and life is going, but just try not to be that person that's only there when you see someone is going through something bad. Try to just be there because you want to be there for somebody. Try to just support because you want to support. Um, because when you do it that way, you have a little bit more richness, in my opinion, versus waiting until everything's just terrible to then say, okay, is there anything I can do for you? No, you should ask me that 10 years ago when I was
Exactly.
giving you money for rent and you were just taking it. You should ask me 10 years ago if there's anything I could do. I didn't close my business down. I didn't moved off to the box in the street. I don't have no house anymore. Now you talking about is there something you could do? What? When you should have asked if there was something you could do the first time that I went out of my way to support you and show you that I was a real friend and I was there for you. That's when you should have asked me, is there anything that I can do? Once you got on your feet or once you were in a better place, I should have been one of the people you were thinking about. And if you have bad memory, you need to have a notebook and you need to write it down of all the people who help you and support you. And those are the times you need to be going to people. Don't wait until you get to a funeral home to share how much you cared about a person when they cannot hear you. Don't wait until
Exactly.
a person is not able to do what they want to do with their lives to ask, is there anything that I can do for you? We have to stop waiting until people are in bad places to then say, okay, I want to be a part of the support. Some people are going through life and they really can barely handle what they're going through on their own. But I'm talking about in those moments where we can make a choice, be the one that chooses to pour into the people who have poured into you and check in on them. You never know how that conversation can go. And even if you're in a low spot on your own, sometimes you need those conversations to give you that quick pick me up and say, man, I needed to hear this. So think about that for anyone that's, in thought. And then food for thought, and then for you also, Lacole, you said something about you're just enjoying your life. And you made me think of this quote that I just got done sharing with a close friend of mine. And basically, it's something I posted on social media. I don't know who the quote originally came from, but quote goes, remove the finish line, focus on enjoying the process. Enjoy the journey, remove the finish line. And I
Yeah.
feel like that quote, when you said, I'm just enjoying my life, I'm just living my life, is very powerful because whether you are going through something, whether you are sick, whether you are feeling amazing, at the end of the day, no day is promised to anyone. So you could be
Right.
someone with perfect health and, not be here next week or next month. You could be someone with not good health. And so instead of focusing on the labels and the things that people, the superficial stuff, I have to be here. I have to be a millionaire by this. Of course, we want to make money, right? Focus on enjoying the process so that while you're getting there, you're doing things that fulfill you now so that every day when you wake up, you feel passionate about the change that you have made in people's lives, the impact that you have made in people's lives. That's what it should be about. Am I a millionaire right now or a billionaire? Not yet, but I feel good when I wake up and I see a message from someone saying, I watch your show all the time and I love what you do. And I reach out to some of the business owners that you've interviewed. That means I've made an impact. I feel amazing when somebody says, you actually brought in 60% of my customers, or most of my clients that I've gotten have come from your network. That feels amazing. When I see
Yes.
people say, I didn't think that I could do this, but working with you now, I realize just how much more I could be doing, and how little of a goals I set for myself because I thought that's all I could achieve. That feels enriching. So if I was to leave tomorrow, I know I would have left an impact on a community of people in my area and nationwide, to make them remember the importance of knowing your worth and continuing to pursue what is right for you. So you have to find that richness now and not be waiting and saying, "Oh, I'll be happy later. I'll be in a good spirits later. I'll be in a better attitude later." Enjoy the process now, because when you enjoy it now, you have less of that irritation, less of just feeling like you don't want to do things. Just enjoy the process. I just shared this with another one of my new friends. She was talking about the dating realm. We've talked about this a lot. And she was saying, man, I'm ready to be married. I'm ready to be settled down. I'm ready to be this. And I've been having such terrible experiences. And I'm not sure why. And I said, maybe it's because the people that you're talking to are looking for those indicators that you are focused on the finish line and not enjoying the process. Because when they see that you're focused on the finish line, they're going to promise you the finish line. I'll give you marriage. I'll give you kids. We could do this. What's your favorite name? What we should name our babies? Where do you want to be when I propose? All that wonderful stuff. And then in the process of getting into the relationship with them, what do you get? Oh, sorry, I couldn't make it. I was tired. Oh, I can't come out today. Oh, call me after 9. Cause during the day I'm busy. I'll be working. You can't call my phone after that time. Oh, she's just a friend. That's what you get in the relationship. Why? Because you're focused on the selling the whole package. I need the house, I need the kids, I need this, versus enjoy the process, because enjoying the process teaches you, I know what I want eventually, but right now I'm going to focus on quality over quantity. So while we're talking and we're having conversations, and I notice that you tell me call you after 9 p.m. every day. Now, I have a busy schedule myself, but I don't tell anybody to call me after a certain time. I just put that thing on D&D and then I flip that off when I'm available. Just that simple. But I'm not, I told you don't call me around this time. That's weird. And then as you're enjoying the process and you're still getting to know someone and they start asking you questions like, well, is this going to be a problem when you're my girl and you've only known them for 3 days?
Mm.
Enjoying the process tells you, huh, it's a little odd that you haven't really shown me through your actions that you're a reliable person in my life and you're serious about building something with me, but you're already expecting that I should be obligated to reach out to you during certain times of the day. That's a little odd. That's what enjoying the process would teach us. Focusing on the finish line would tell us, he said I'm going to be his girlfriend. Okay, let's keep going. That's what enjoying the finish line is going to teach us. So I want to challenge everyone that no matter what area of your life, you're asking yourself, am I focused on the finish line and the labels and the superficial stuff that everybody sees on the outside, just because I'm worried about disappointing other people or expectations that I've put on myself that nobody else really cares about until I put it on myself? Or am I focused on enjoying the process, to where every single day that I wake up, every person, everything, every environment is aligning with who I am and who I'm going to be, and what legacy I'm leaving behind, most importantly, because we're not always in charge of who we're going to be, because we don't know when our day is done, right? But we can always be in charge of what legacy we leave behind in every room that we step into and how we impact people. So everything that you do needs to be aligning with the legacy that you want to leave behind. And if things are not aligning, when you're focused on enjoying the process, it's much easier to say, this isn't for me. And let's just pivot. Let's just change. When you're focused on the finish line, it's much easier to say, that's not making sense for me, but I got to get that. I got to get that. So you keep going. So when you said that, just living, I felt like I needed to share that quote with everybody, just in case they need to hear that. So now that we've kind of
Yeah.
talked a little bit, we've had a little bit of a conversation about, where you're at and what things are important to you right now and what caused that change. Feel free to now share with us more information about your business.
Okay. As many of you know, I am the CEO and founder of AL Publishing and Consulting. CEO and founder of Motivational Talk Dialogues and Show. And my new baby is Legacy Ink Market. Uh, so, everybody like, okay, well, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but they all tie in together. They just have different names, but they all have the same mission. They all have the same vision. And it's all about helping people use their voice. Motivational talk dialogues and show you can come on, you can talk about your business, you can talk about your book, you can tell people who you are and how you are. And this is a platform that some of the sessions are free. So you can come on there for free, tell people about who you are, what you're doing, invite them into your space because they don't know who you are because you're on a different platform. So now you're in front of people that you've never seen before. You're in front of people that you've never talked to, but they're going to hear you and they're going to hear what you're talking about. So going into 2026, I will be having some paid sessions where you have longer, where you have more things that come along with it. But right now, you can, well, actually, you can't because it's blocked out for the rest of the year. But January, come,
Well,
I have two slots left in December. So whoever grab those two slots before Christmas, you can get those two slots in December. But other than that, you're gonna have to wait till January. Now, AL Publishing and Consulting, I am so proud of this baby. Uh, I never thought 5 years ago that I would actually be telling someone that I own a publishing company, that I'm doing the things that I'm doing, and that we have 100% success rate. That is absolutely without a doubt marvelous. Now, like she said, did I have to do some pivoting? Yes, I did. Did I have to restructure? Yes, I did. Did I have to change some bossing? Yes, I did. But in the end, sometimes you have to realize what's good for you and what's better for you. And just because it's good for you, you can always expect better. Not saying that you have to totally rid yourself of things that are good, but in this season, we need to be going for the things that are better, the things that make you uncomfortable, the people that make you uncomfortable, the people that push you past your limit because they know that you can be pushed. These are the things that you need to be looking for. These are the people that you need in your life to structure you. It's okay to be with the people that want to have fun. It's okay to be with people that, everything you do is happy go lucky, but you never see anything that's pretty much bad. I'm just like, sometimes you know, you have to get fucked at, and I've been fucked at a couple of times by a couple of my mentors. But, and I just dust my little shoulder off and dust a little dirt off my pants and did a little heart check. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm still living. I didn't die from it, so and you keep going. And then once you get to halfway mark and you be like, oh wait, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So maybe they know a little something. Maybe they are not as horrible as you think they are. So, and then you go a little further and then you realize, you know, all of this work really wasn't that hard. I made it hard because everything that they told me I knew I could do when they told me I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to take that step. I didn't want to get uncomfortable. I did not get 100% success rate being comfortable. I didn't get 100% success rate not having mentors that pushed me. because yes, I'm a mentor, but the mentors need to be mentored as well. Every mentor that does not have somebody that's a mentor or does not have somebody that was their mentor that pushed them to get them to that point, you need to find you somebody else, baby, because they not doing what they need to be doing. Because if they have not been taught how to manage you or tell you what to do or tell you how to go, keep it moving. And both day blogs, she taking new clients probably in 2026. Now you gonna get uncomfortable over there, but it's gonna be all right. Just check check your
I
heart pattern,
cannot.
you know. Um, Go back to the neck, make sure you got a little
Oh
heartbeat up there,
Lord,
man.
not the
And
neck. I can't.
keep going. Hey, if you're looking for financial help, they got two. They're gonna make you uncomfortable. I have not bought anything in the whole year of 2025. And I finally got some permission to get some nails. And I was like, but they gonna make me look so good in business like. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna give you permission to get that. But you can't buy no clothes. Can't buy no shoes. You can't buy no. And I'm like, so
Oh,
I'm gonna have some nails and old clothes, old purse, old shoe, and yes,
oh, that's too funny. That's too
and
funny.
I'm seriously. I joke about it a lot, but I appreciate it. I really do because I go in my closet now and I'm still popping tags. So I didn't
So
need
she
the
was right.
clothes. I didn't need the shoes. I didn't need the jewelry. I didn't need the hats. I didn't need all of that stuff that I was enjoying. I go in my closet and I put it in a little bag and I pull it out and I'll be like, yeah, I went shopping. So, yeah.
And that's what you call mental strength. Okay. You made some really great points, Lacole. Discomfort is a big thing. And
Yeah.
becoming a evolving person, you understand that all discomfort is not negative. And um, there was actually a video where a woman was talking about some of the people that people interpret as negative people in their life, when in reality, those are gold who tells you the things that you may not want to hear. And the reason why is because that is a form of love, to tell someone the truth, to tell someone the things that are on your mind or that might be on someone else's mind, and just say that, and not necessarily have anything that they're going to benefit from for saying that. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so for me, like for me personally, I do feel benefit when I see my clients flourishing, growing, elevating. That makes me feel wonderful. I'm definitely motivated. However, in the same breath, I'm going to do what I need to do for myself. So whether you do what you do for yourself is dependent upon you. But the job over here is getting done. So there is no motivation behind, telling you something. There's no other intention except for to help you grow and elevate. It's awesome. It's good for me. My clients are growing, they're doing well, but it's also great for you. But if you decide, I'm just not going to do this, it's not going to stop what I'm doing for myself. So I could share the information. I could not share the information, but there is nothing that's going to change for my business and my growth if I tell you the truth. Now,
Right.
sometimes people don't have that mindset. So in their minds, they're thinking, well, if I tell her this, she'll get upset and then I might lose her as a client. And if I lose her as a client, she'll go tell other people that she left. So let me just hold off on that and let's
Yeah.
just focus on all the fun stuff and let's just make every conversation, nice, warm, and fuzzy. And we just keep it like that. But when you detach yourself from the outcome, when you detach yourself from a thought process of what a person is to you and how they could benefit you or what it could look like, you focus on the quality of the situation. And once I started to do that, um, everything else went out the window, because it's like, yes, I do want you to succeed. But the reality here is that I don't want you to think that I'm going to be the person making you do what you need to do. I'm not gonna be the person that makes you successful. You're gonna make yourself successful because you're gonna choose to take the insight or the coaching or the consulting or the behaviors and go do that. You're gonna choose to be uncomfortable, but I'm not gonna make you do it, because what is that gonna create? It's gonna create an extra job for me where our relationship is built off of Catan makes me do this and then I go do it, instead of I'm a go-getter, I'm hungry, I'm going to do what I need to do for my business to grow. And I need to be around people who are going to help promote that. And Katana is one of those people that I want on that journey. So she's going to help me. She's going to help me get to that next place, that next level, whatever that is. But not the only reason why I wake up in the morning and do this is because Katana made me. I don't want that. I'm not going to be that's not the relationship I want. We already talked about how historically and culturally that can be something positive for people, but it is not positive for me as a mentor or a consultant or a coach to have someone that is assuming that if they come and work with me, I'm going to do all the work for them. I'm not going to be sitting and taking the notes for you. I'm not going to be saying, hey, you should listen to this. I'm not doing that. I'm here to give you the insight. But what you said about being uncomfortable is huge. Like, you got to be uncomfortable in a lot of cases. And if you're too comfortable, that can be a sign that you are close to complacency. You may not be there yet mentally, but mentally, it's not that far away. It's a good little step away from just becoming complacent with where you're at and what you're producing. But when you get uncomfortable, you step out and realize there's another level that I have yet to tap into that can help propel me to the next level. And for anyone who is a mentor, we have two on the screen right now. We have an author, publishing coach, mentor. Myself, I do business coaching, mentoring, selling, things like that. But for anyone who is, if you're in that space where you're struggling to figure out whether or not you should be honest with somebody, I'm going to remind you and affirm to you that you should. And the reason being, for what I just mentioned, you do not want to create a relationship where someone is only going to go if you are pushing them to go. You want to create relationships with people where they are already hungry for themselves and they want to elevate. They want to elevate with you. We're going together. And you're not helping anybody to hold back the truth. Give them their feedback. Understand the boundaries you have to have and how you have to approach things, and the softness that might be required. I mean, I even say softness, but the carefulness, the intention that might be required when having certain conversations. Because one conversation for me could be, okay, we got to let this go. But in something that's a little bit more serious, you may have to really sit down and slowly walk through the importance of why it might be time to change this behavior. And so you have to figure out how to gauge that with your clients. Every client has a different personality. Every client responds differently. Every client has a different level of receptiveness. And so you have to tailor to that sometimes. Not to say that you have to minimize yourself as a coach or a consultant. You do need to have boundaries. But if you think that by not being honest with your clients and telling them the god awful truth, that you're helping them in any kind of way, no. Because what happens is they leave and then they go somewhere where someone tells them the truth. And then they look at you like, did you notice? Or did you just not know? Because I was doing this for a long time and you never said anything. You never sat down with me and you never said, you need to fix this, or this isn't going to work, or I'm not seeing enough change, or we need to speed this up. You never said that. So did you just not tell me because I was your client? And when people start to question that, they start to question your integrity and whether or not you're someone who is here to service and do the job, or just here to make the money and have the image of having the clients and the image of being the place for everybody to be. And you can have both. You can have the image and the work behind it. But what's most important is you have that heart and the work behind it. The image will come later as the budgeting allows you to elevate that image. But if you start off with looking pretty and everything looks polished and great, but then your clients don't have the basics down of how to analyze their business and understand how to grow and elevate and ways to elevate their customer experience and things that they're missing out on, then that's going to reflect back a lot faster. So yeah, just some food for thought. All right, so let's move into the next conversation. Today, I would love for you, Lacole, to share where you're based out of. And unless you guys already heard some of her verbiage, you probably know where she's based out of, because you said something that just made me crack up. And I kind of feel like it's a Louisiana thing, but I could be wrong. But she is, well, I just shared where she's based out of, but based out of Louisiana. But where do you service to? What states do you service to?
I service everyone in the USA, and we have tapped into Canada.
Okay,
We're
okay.
international. We've tapped into Canada. I'm actually in the process of working to get into Mexico, because I have somebody there, and we have somebody that's going to come from the UK. So I'm excited about that as well. Australia is not far off. We're in the works. We're trying to make sure that technical stuff gets taken care of, but I have a client that's in Australia that wants to do a book, and uh I'm trying to understand how to be a good mentor when I can't go and visit them because I'm not going out there with those scorpions and cobras and stuff. So um, I'm going to be a great mentor from afar, and I'm going to love them because I do not want to, run into a black mamba or any of those things, unless it
And
was
those big old
Kobe
spiders that they
Bryant.
say, those spiders that are the
Unless it,
size of the dogs.
yeah, and definitely like not the wolf spider. I'm not. Mm-mm. I don't do a regular wolf. I'm especially not going to do one that's a spider. No. Uh-uh.
Mm. Well,
So
congratulations.
you can tap into things and you can go places and be, you can still be the best you because now we can be virtual. So just remember, do not close yourself in or tie yourself off because you're afraid to go into territory that you're not comfortable being comfortable in. Again, being uncomfortable. Yes, I'm uncomfortable. I will mentor you wherever you are. That don't mean I'm gonna visit you wherever you are. I'm gonna love you and you're gonna have my full support and I will give you whatever you need to succeed. And just know that that's where I'm at, you know.
Well, congratulations, Lacole, on turning this business, this nationwide business, into a now international business. And let's move into these services. So, feel free to share. You can share 1 to 5 different products or services, and then please let us know the features behind the products or service and what the price cost for people to be able to purchase that.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with and I'm gonna go back to the norm. My one-on-one mentorship. And I'm starting with that one because it used to actually be the number one service that I had. But lately, I've taken a shift, and the shift hasn't been bad. So I started with the one on one mentorship, and the one on one mentorship is still going hard. It's still going, it's popping still. Um, but now, with the luxury that comes with that 100% success rate, that one on one mentorship does not tolerate any foolery, period.
I'm
You
sorry, you
know,
say foolery? Foolery?
foolery,
Oh,
foolery.
okay. Okay, good, good. Thank you, thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
foolery. No, no foolery. Um, and I say that because I pour a lot into my clients. I pour a whole lot into my clients. I take a whole lot of time. And with that one-on-one mentorship, the things that come along with that, one-on-one mentorship, you get me pretty much at your service to help you write this book, publish the book. Um, Now we're printing the book and doing all these things. You're on. We have a bestsellers list. We have where you can be author of the month. We have all of these things up under the umbrella now. So when I say one-on-one mentorship, I do mean one-on-one mentorship. Now let's go a little further with it. Once you're getting to the end of that mentorship and you've written the book and you've ready for the publish, we are paying for you to be promoted by Boss Babe Blog for 1 full year. So you don't have to go look for anybody to help put your information out there. You don't have to look for anybody that's gonna be like, well, who can help me get this out there? For one full year, Boss Bay Blog will be promoting your book and you as an author. We have brought in Leslie Speak. So not only will you be making money, but she's gonna show you how to keep the money and benefit from the money and hold
That's
on
right.
to the money. So, and on top of all of that, we're gonna send you on a 3-day trip from one of the beautiful travel agents in Boss Bay Blog Directory. So this is a win-win. Either way it goes, it's a win-win. Um, it does not hurt you nor hinder you to be a part of this. Now, the whole service is $3,600. Don't get scared yet. You can pay by the month, 12 months at $300 a month, and you can still get this service, and you can still achieve the things that you're gonna achieve, and you can still be promoted. You can still get the financial help. You can still get the trip. So
Which is a
it's a win.
steal.
It's a
That is
win-win.
okay. Let's hold on. We got to pause real quick, because this is investment. So anyone out there who is a little scared, I understand if that's not the normal financial place that you're at. However, keep in mind that just like anything else that you're passionate about that you want to do, you do what? You save up money and then you go and you make it happen. $3,600 is the current price for this service. That's how much it costs sometimes just to go on a trip alone. So what she's telling you is not only is she going to send you on a trip for 3 days, but she's also going to provide you with, I'm sorry, for 1 to 3 days, or is it 3 days? 3 days?
It's 3 days. It's a
Three.
3-day
She's
trip.
sending you on a trip for 3 days, but on top of that, she's also going to provide you with a one-on-one mentorship, which I can actually personally share my own experience talking to some of her clients. So one of her clients even said, I pushed myself a little bit more, and I went from being someone who doesn't want to talk as much to now I'm booking and trying to see what events I can get on, and I've even seen the difference in one of her clients that is also one of my clients, like from being a little bit shy to I'm booking this, I'm hosting this, I'm attending this, I'm doing that, and I'm like, ooh, okay, I love this, I love this. So I actually do. I would recommend that if you're someone who is trying to get out of that comfort zone, that you go and take her course. The mentorship is wonderful, and her motivational speaking course as well, because we got to push ourselves out of that comfort zone. And I cannot tell you how many people miss out on great business opportunities because they're shy, because they don't just say, "What is it I need to do?" and then just get in there and do it. We got to get out of that. So the best thing you can do is go and take a course, get educated, get that encouragement, and get out of that, because sometimes people just sit and stay stuck when you don't have to stay stuck. That's a choice if you stay stuck. So even if you can't afford the mentorship, go get the motivational speaking course so you can challenge yourself to put yourself out there and start reaching people and talking about your passion and the things that you were called to do. But with her course, $3,600, you're receiving someone to help you with publishing the book. You're receiving discounted prices on the publishing services. If you decide you just want to purchase a publishing service, you don't want to do that part. But then after you get the book published, you still receive one-on-one mentorship when you have questions about how to talk about your book, how to speak about it, where you should go, what kind of engagements you should do, what kind of verbiage you should use when you're trying to book motivational speaking conversations or conferences. One-on-one 24/7 mentorship assistance. That's huge, because we are in the world of AIs. There's not a lot of places where you're going to go and get a human who's going to be there and support you and have your back like that 24/7. That means on a Monday, Sunday, those days you're able to check in. That is an amazing feature to receive at the price of $3,600, and you're getting sent on a trip, and you're getting goodies and gifts, and you're getting your book published if you decide to use that mentorship. $3,600. If you have taken any trips that cost $3,600, you could have used that trip money to go ahead and get you a course. And that's not to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't be spending their money with. It's just to
Right.
give you the realistic view of, I spent $5,000 to go on this trip. it was a fun trip. It better have been a fun trip if you spent $5,000. If it wasn't a fun
Yeah.
trip, you could have spent that 3,600 and go get your book published on telling your story about something that is important to you in your life that you feel like other people need to hear, or you feel like other people need to see, or something that you just want to get out there, whether it be fiction, nonfiction. But where we invest our money shows what our priorities are in life. So I
Mhm.
just want to add that in there. If you're someone that's a little scared, she does have that payment option available. But keep in mind too, you can also do what a lot of people do, which is have a saving put aside for this service and say, this costs 3,600. I'm gonna keep saving. I'm gonna keep saving. I'm gonna keep saving. And then once you have half of that, go ahead and sign up for that service and start paying off those things and then getting more, or get all of it and pay it all at once, because there's nothing better than paying it all at once and not having the bills, reoccurring bills. I love that feeling of just, here's the money, take it and just give me what I need. I love that feeling. So if you're that kind of person, you can do that too, and it is possible. Think about all the things you spend your money on in a day and ask yourself how many of those things bring you some level of enrichment or fulfillment, or help you with leaving a legacy. And if that's not a good percentage of those things, it's time to reposition what our priorities are so that we're living a life that aligns with what we say we see value in. If you see value in uplifting the community, what are you doing to uplift the community while also uplifting yourself? Have you started investing in what kind of courses, what kind of media, what kind of content we need to put out there? If you say that this world has too much negativity, what are you putting into it? Become less of a consumer and become more of a creator if you want to see growth in your business and in your life and in your dreams. We have enough consumers, and we value our consumers. They play a very important role, and without them, there would be no reason to create, right? But if you're someone saying that you want to be a creator, you want to be a business owner, then your finances need to reflect that. And if your finances reflect that you are more of a consumer than you are a producer, then that's might be part of the reason why you're not able, or why you don't see the value in, or you feel like something is too expensive or too high. It's not too expensive if we put down that Gucci bag.
Okay.
If we put down that Gucci bag and we go put that Gucci bag back on the shelf, and then we go take that Gucci money and go write us a Gucci book, it's not bad.
Definitely.
But we got to change our mindsets. And it's not to shame, it's not to bash, it's not to push in a negative way or force. It's to plant the idea that you can choose to cut or to allow to blossom in your mind, that I'm ready to become a producer. I'm ready to create something for other people to consume that aligns with the value that I want to have and the legacy that I want to leave behind. So, $3,600 to do that, and receive unlimited support for 12 months, 24/7. I see that as a steal. You know how much it costs to get a book published alone at some publishing brands? And who cares about other publishing brands? Let me not even do that, because a price is a price. Your price is your price. Whether you charge 5 million or you charge $1, your price is your price. But at the end of the day, the value that you receive for that price and the experience that you receive, you should feel good about paying it. And 24/7, what you're going to receive if you sign up, you're going to feel good about paying it, because this isn't a, you know, AI, nothing wrong with AI, but it's not AI. It's not a computer generated thing. It's a whole human helping you, walking through your emotions with you. I had some of her clients come back and tell me about them having bad days and them being able to call in her mentorship program and just talk about the emotions going through her head while they're writing that book. So, you know, but it's just a seed to plant. You do with it what you want. Take it and go make you that book, or create whatever it is you're going to create out of here, even if it's not a book, or go get that Gucci bag and, you know, keep spending that Gucci money and be Gucci
Definitely.
broke. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding about that last part. I'm just playing. Don't cancel me. but but no, I'm just playing. I'm just being silly. On a realistic note, though, just planting the idea. All right. So, what is the
Definitely.
next product or service, Lacole? Or did you still have more you wanted to touch on with that one?
You pretty much slowed down with up pretty well. So move on. Can we hop on over to the next? Don't come for, don't come for me. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. I didn't do it. She
Mm.
didn't mean it the way it sounded. She didn't mean it. Okay. So let's just say you're not totally prepared to do the one-on-one mentorship. You're not, but you're ready to write the book. You're ready to get out there. You might have already started writing the book, and you just need some insight and some information. Well, we have a 12-month author coaching course that you can take, and it is right now, if you take advantage of it, $75. $75 one time fee. $75 for 12 months. You cannot beat that with a stick. And it's not as hands on as the one on one mentorship, but you still benefit from it. And I can say that you benefit from it because we have a 100% success rate with our authors. Every author that has come through any mentorship course that I have had, they are already on book two, book three, some of them. Some of them are doing anthology, some of them are doing co authored books. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to get your feet wet, get out there, and then I push you into interviews. I make sure that you get interviewed on different shows. And most of the time, I go on the show first. I tap into it to see if it's, somebody that's going to be a good interviewee for you to talk about your platform. And I tag you on their page, or I tell them about, hey, I have somebody that one of my clients, or I have two or three of my clients that would be a great fit for your show. So now that I done put that in there, I done planted that seed with that host, and then I tell you, hey, look, go over here and be interviewed. It's gonna put you in a different realm and in a different sector where you can be taken care of as an author. And you have to remember, and a lot of people forget this and they don't even think about it. When you write a book, you become an expert on the topic that you write on. So if you write a book about finance, you become a financial expert. If you write a book about the things that you went through, and I'm gonna take myself for instance, I wrote a book and I wrote about all the things that's going on in my life, which is leaps of faith. So did I become an expert in that book? No, I did not, because I talked about a lot of different things. But what I did do, I became an expert on how to write the book, how to publish the book, how to make sure that the book gets sales, how to make sure that the book gets out there, how to make sure that I can get on podcasts, how to make sure I can get on radio shows, how I can get on TV shows and be interviewed and get my information out there. And then I created the platform that you see, AL Publishing and Consulting, because I didn't want people to go through all the headache that I went through. So I became an expert in publishing so that I can help my clients. So you might not always become an expert in what you write the first time, but that book should build you a brand. And if it doesn't build you a brand, then you're doing it wrong. I can tell you that now. You know,
Okay.
everybody that writes a book should be able to build a brand, build a legacy, build something that they stand firm on. And anytime you hear me talk, anytime you hear me speak, you're going to hear me say, your voice is important. Speak loudly. I'm all about you getting your voice out there. I'm all about you making sure that you're telling your story, making sure that you're being heard, telling people something that went on in your life because it could save one person. And I feel like if one person get it, then your job is done. That was your job to tap into that one person. Now the things that that one person do will reflect off of you and bring you more people to do the same thing. So let's stop trying to impress 100 people and take care of one. So that's another thing that's a new mindset for me. Um, yeah, I might have multiple clients, but each client that I have, I try my best to treat them like they're the only client that I have. And I utilize that because that's something that I was missing when I was writing some of my books. On days that I had questions or I felt stuck and I had to wait till um our date that we had put together, or you have to send a text message or an email and wait for an answer that might come 2 or 3 days later. I do not want that for any of my clients. And even if you're not in the one-on-one mentorship, if you send me a message and ask me a question or call my phone, I'm gonna answer your question, no matter which service you're getting. That's just who I am. So that's that service.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and also sharing the service too, because like you said, $75 is really a steal for everything that they're receiving. Um, the course, we talked about the mentorship first. This one is now the course, $75 to learn how to publish your own book, have it printed, all that stuff that you need to learn how to do to become a self-publisher. You're going to learn that in this course for the price of $75, which is an amazing deal, and it goes for 12 months, but you can, depending on where you're at, if you want to, if you're someone who can work by themselves, you can just go in there, get the information, and complete your stuff. So I'm really excited to share that I am actually a part of this course now. I will be publishing my book through AL Publishing and Consulting's author coaching course. um, and I'm really excited for this because it's something that's kind of been a long time coming. Even when I first started, like doing my lives and stuff, my clients were already asking, and my followers and friends, when's your book coming out? When are you going to do a book? When are you going to create a planner? When are you going to do this? They were already asking me when I was going to publish my own physical media. So, I was like, it's coming, I'm working on it. And I decided to sit down, work on it. I know, right? That only makes people ask more. So I decided to sit down and work on this. And it's very intentional, thoughtful, and I'm really excited about it. So you guys will see what that experience looks like from my eyes after it has been published. So excited. Yeah. And if you join, you can join the private community that she has for people that purchase this course. Okay, so for you, Lacole, do you have another service or product that you wanted to highlight?
Well, we kind of tapped on the motivational talk service that we offer as well. So once you've written the book and you've done the thing, everybody is not a God gift to the world speaker, or they don't have the capabilities of speaking in front of people. I used to be absolutely shy of getting on camera. I'll talk to you all day long, but I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be front and center. But look at me now. And in order to make sure that my clients were going to be the best that they could be, I had to put my fears behind myself and make sure that I'm doing what I needed to do. And they have to see that I'm doing what I'm asking them to do, you know. And a lot of this came from retail, which is crazy because I worked in retail for years. And in retail, when you have people that you're the manager over, you have to be able to tell them, okay, I need you to go do XYZ. And then they be like, well, I never see you do it. Boo boo kitty. I've done it more than once. I know how to do it. I will show you how to do it, and then I'm gonna need you to do it. Point blank, period.
Hmm.
You know,
Yep.
so that's how that world goes. And I use a lot of my retail skills in my business, and it makes it that much more um sentimental to me, and it makes it that much more important to me because my customers were always important. My the field that I'm in now, my patients are always important,
Yep.
and my clients are always important, and they will always be important. Even when they're successful, I'll still be their number one cheerleader. I'll still be the person that says, "Do you need anything?" Even if you're out of my course, even if you're out of my mentorship, even if you went through the motivational speaking course. But for $25 a month, can't beat it. Well, no, $50 a month for that one. $50 a
Okay.
month, you can't beat it.
Yeah, you can
Or
because
you can pay it up front. Pay $200 up front and get it over with.
yep, that's a good deal. It's a good deal. The steal. Because you need this. You need and when I say this, because I'm never gonna be that person that tells someone that there's only one way to do something, right? There's many ways to overcome being someone who's shy. But you need this ability to, or this environment, or this mentor, or this experience, or this education on putting yourself out there and getting out of your comfort zone, because it's going to help you with your socialization skills. There's so many wonderfully talented individuals that I have come across who do not have basic socialization skills. And that is one of the setbacks of their business. Knowing how to talk to people, knowing how to speak to people, knowing how to make your message clear without necessarily using the same common words that someone might use, knowing how to emote. These are things that if you don't practice those skills, you might miss out on really great opportunities. And so I think that I would argue and say that motivational speaking courses or classes isn't just good for practicing speaking to people. It's also good for just practicing on how to be more of a people person and how to just talk to people, because that's really what the core message is. When you take these courses, they're going to teach you that you're having almost like a conversation. It's not supposed to be a blank room and you just feel like you're
Exactly.
presenting at a class. It's a conversation. It's inviting the dialogue. So even if they're not talking, there's a warm dialogue about it. And I've come across so many professionals that I know have talent and I know are able to produce something wonderful. However, the way that they speak to people, not so good. And that's like a customer service thing too. It's customer experience, it's customer service, it's professionalism, but it's also motivational speaking, because when you understand how to motivate people, you change your verbiage. And had to do that from retail all the way until now to understand how to speak to people so they understand the impact of doing something or not doing something without necessarily feeling like you're dragging them to it. So I really think people would benefit from that. I've had people who, I don't know, I guess they were trying to be motivational, just completely abrasive and don't even know them. And I'm thinking to myself, like, God, if this is how you talk to me, I hate to be your client. I don't want anything.
Right. Right.
No. And that's coming from me. I could take a lot. I could take a lot because I give a lot as far as like transparency, coaching, consulting. But some stuff is like, that's a bit much. I had someone, I don't know, they call themselves like trying to um make their point clear. But in the process of trying to express why I should think a certain way, they're insulting my business, your low quality podcast, you're this. And I get it. I get what you're trying to do. But all I'm saying is no thanks. You lost me. I don't want to be here. I don't like this. So and it was somebody who was like trying to convince me, I guess, that the way I'm doing something isn't the right way to do it. But newsflash, guys, in business, unless it's something legal or like there's a specific written guideline that needs to be followed, or else bad things will happen. Please do not, or unsafe. You're putting somebody in an unsafe position. But outside of that, there's many ways you can do something. So when people come to you and tell you that this is the only way you're going to be able to get sales,
Right.
in many cases, that's not always the case. So that's like kind of a red flag, especially when they don't know your business and they're already telling you that this is the only way you can do something and they haven't assessed it. That's like the first red flag to somebody that talks without understanding the impact of their words and says things without actually doing research. So I already wasn't listening just based off of that alone. But I tried. I was like, all right, let's see where this is going. But then we got into this craziness, and I was just thinking in my head, you could use a motivational course so you can learn how to get people to understand the message that you're trying to get across effectively, because effective communication is not always going to be your favorite level of communication. You may not agree with an effective way to say something, but if you want it to be effective, that's how you're going to need to say it to make it more effective. I may feel like I want to say, Lacole, you just need you need to do a makeover. We need to just change this up. If I don't know Lacole like that, and Lacole doesn't know me, and she doesn't know my intentions, and that is the first thing I say on our first meeting, she might just look at me like, who do you think she's talking to? Okay. She probably won't be back. Right. So even though I might want to say that, I probably should go along the lines of, hey, Lacole, I know that your mission is to empower people. And I know that your mission is to make sure that people feel seen and heard. That's what you're doing. And that's what you plan to do for your business as well. So I really feel like we should invest in ways to help your image align with that, on paper, off paper, in person. Let's look at some different ideas on how we can elevate your overall presentation so that it matches the quality of what you're putting out. That is an effective message. Lacole understands what I'm saying in this message. She understands that there's a change that we're trying to make. It's effective. Coming to somebody talking about, you need a makeover because you're just looking dusty all the time. That's not effective. And another thing, just because you're rude does not make you real. Let's add that in there too, because people love to hide behind that statement. That is not effective. It's not real. It's an insecurity within yourself that you're now trying to project onto another person. And this person might have already been looking to get your information. You don't have to do all of that. So you don't have to do that. People just work so hard for that. It's crazy. I might have to write a podcast about this one, but yeah. So my point here is that effective may not always be what you think you should say. Oh, the screen flipped again. I think something's going on with StreamYard. You can try flipping your device and see if that works for you. But yes, so effective communication. Go ahead and get you a course for motivational speaking, learn how to get across a message, relay something to someone, because what's most important is that they get the message and they're empowered by it, not your pride or your ego that comes with delivering it in a way that you want to deliver it in just because you have that itch to deliver it that way. Take the time, take a deep breath, invest in the socialization skills, invest in the courses so that you can create effective communication and effectively get across a message to whoever it is you're trying to reach. Uh-oh. It looks like your screen's frozen, Lacole. Hopefully we're able to get that back. Let me try removing you and bringing you back on. Hopefully we're able to get her back. If not, we will just, continue on with the conversation. But yeah, this is a message that I do feel like is really important. So even if you're going to get Lacole's motivational speaking course, or you're just someone that's thinking about investing in the way that you present yourself to people, how you speak to people, I do truly believe that socialization skills is a must-have. Think about the legacy that you want to leave, and think about, most importantly, the feeling that you want someone to feel when they think of your brand or when they experience your brand. And when you think about those things, you practice making sure that the words that come out of your mouth align with that. And the more that you do this, the more you'll start to see more effective communication taking place with people that are your potential clients, with people that you're thinking about partnering with people that you're wanting to do business with, or you're just having a conversation with. The more you think about how you want someone to feel at the end of a conversation with you and what message you're trying to relay, the less all of the extra stuff that we try to add into communication that's actually not necessary becomes a part of that. So hopefully anyone who's kind of struggling with that is able to, think on that for a little bit and hopefully reflect on it and help your brand. Now that we've shared that, I do want to go ahead and take some time and shout out a couple of things that I think might be beneficial for you if you're someone thinking about starting a book from Lacole's website. So you can head on over to lacolesmith.com. The website is on the screen, going on the screen right now as we speak. And at lacolesmith.com, you will be able to see she has a section for her books. She has a section for her courses. She has a section for the mentorship as well. And the author mentorship is one that we talked about. She has a motivational speaking mentorship. She also has a motivational speaking course. Just like the motivational, the author course, it is a little bit more less hands on. The motivational mentorship is going to be more hands on. So if you're wanting that experience, you choose the course. If you just want the information to take advantage, and then if you don't want that experience, you want a hands on experience, you choose the mentorship. Looks like we have Lacole back, so we'll go ahead and finish off this interview. Hi, Lacole. We were having some technical
Tech-
difficulties. This is the second
Technical
time that
difficulty.
that's flipped on the screen where the screen
I
flips. So I might
know.
have to give some feedback to the streamer. But thank you, everyone, for your patience. We are back again. So, Lacole, did you have any other products that you wanted to share or showcase this evening?
I think right now those are the main things to that I want to focus on. Of course, I have my books and my journal, and you can go to lacolesmith.com and purchase those. I have apparel that you can go on and get on Lacole Smith as well, lacolesmith.com and purchase. But the main thing is I want to help people share their voice. And the focus is not about me anymore. I used to like to show my books and my journals because, yes, they're still important and they mean a lot to me. But I see so many people who are broken, so many people who have stories and they're just scared to take that step. I hear all the time, "Ooh, I need to write a book." Duh. Come on over here. Come on over here and write the book. And they'd be like, "Well, I need somebody that know how to write a book." Uh, I've written more than one. Thank you. I can help you. I have a 100% success rate. I can help you. And if my flavor is not your thing, of course I can tell you somebody else that might can help you do it, but I can't guarantee the same success because I don't know that you would get the same success with them. What I do know is with me, I'm gonna put in the effort to make sure that your book is a success, no matter what your book is. It could be a journal, it can be a planner, it could be a cookbook, it could be whatever it is that you want to use your voice for. And these mentorships and courses are designed to make sure that you succeed. Um, just like when you get a business mentor, you want your business to succeed. When you get an author mentor, they want your book to succeed. And I go further than that. I don't just stop at the book. I go into you speaking. I go into you making sure you're selling, you're being seen, you're on interviews, you're on TV, you're on the radio. People, I want people to hear you and see you everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, if you go on YouTube right now, you probably and pull up Lacole Smith, you probably see I don't know how many interviews, but you'll see my clients on interviews as well. You know, I'm so proud of Kanitra. Oh my God. Like, and I love all my clients. I love all of them, but she was so scared to take that step. And to see her now, she calls me and tell me what she finna do. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. When this happened, who is this person? Where bring me Kanitra. Where's Kanitra?
Okay, Kanitra, this is a new Kanitra now. It's Kanitra 2.0, 3.0, 4.0.
I love the fact that I can say, hey, this is my client. And I have so many other clients that I can talk about and I'm gonna brag about them and I do brag about them when I'm talking to people. I'm not gonna put everybody out there, but she was the most um probably fragile, I'm gonna say.
Hmm.
And I say that she was fragile because she reminded me so much of me. And
Hmm.
that's why I use her because I was her. I
Hmm.
didn't wanna write the book. I didn't want to have to go on interviews. I didn't want to have to get in front of people and talk about
You
what
didn't
I've
want the
done.
spotlight.
I did. I didn't want to be front and center. Like, um, Katan, can I tell you what happened? And you go out there and you tell them for me. And she's like, basically it's like, oh no, because it's not gonna. So she, I was her, you know, and to see her now is absolutely amazing, and that's what you want. You want to be able to say, look at them, where they're at, look what they're doing, look how they're flourishing, look, you know, she's doing things I haven't done,
Yeah,
and that makes me feel good because she stepped out of her comfort zone. She got uncomfortable, and now she's comfortable doing the uncomfortable.
yeah,
So that's where I want my people to be. That's what I want to be able to say. I want to be able to say, if I never write another book, if I never do anything else, I want to be able to say, look at my babies. They just butterflying and flying all around and going doing things. And I can wholeheartedly smile about it.
yeah.
That's the type of people you want in your corner.
I agree, and it feels good as a mentor when your clients surpass you in different areas. They're doing things like you said that you haven't done. That is a reflection on your mentorship. That's a reflection on what they experience from you being in their life, or you for them signing up. So for mentors out there, like that's the goal. The goal is they come back and start telling you stuff that you would have never expected them to be doing because they have flip the script on their performance or on what they're focused on. The goal is to help them propel and, get to that place. It's a wonderful feeling of like, oh, like I know that feeling, there were one way. And then with time, obviously it's been longer than you realize, but in your mind, it's like, oh, this is abrupt. I had someone who was really shy and wasn't big on like, charging her worth. She was always trying to give somebody extra discount and extra deals. She didn't want to charge that price, that higher price point. And one day she just came to me and was like, "Hey, this is the new prices. I need you to update." Because she also purchased other services. She's like, "I need you to update because I'm doing it." And I was like,
Wait a minute.
Sure, sure. I mean, I'll get right on that. Yeah, and she fixed it just that quick. So, that is a wonderful feeling. It feels good. It's about what we talked about before, which is enjoying the process and creating that impact and building that legacy on the way to our journey. And not thinking about so much like I got to get to my finish line, but I am the finish line, So I'd really love to hear that, Lacole. I would like to ask you if you would share one inspirational message that you want to leave with everybody in the audience this evening.
I think that message would be is take one heartbeat at a time. And what I mean by that is every time your heart beats is important. So everything that you do, make sure that it's important and not something that is just a whim or something that could wait for later. Take
Mm,
everything that's in you, take everything that you're dealing with and make it important. And if you have to think about whether it's important or not, then you don't need to be doing it. So that's my best.
that's a very powerful and strong message. So I'm definitely loving that. Is if you have to think about it, should I do this? Is this something? Someone said, I saw a quote somewhere where they were saying, you asking yourself if something is meant to be a part of your life is a sign that there's some redirection that needs to take place. So I love the fact that you share that, Lacole. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And thank you for feeling comfortable enough to share these vulnerable changes that are happening in your life with all of the stuff that you've been changing and putting into place, not just with health, but also with your mindset, with, changing your boundaries, with prioritizing your physical health. So I appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of our directory.
Thank you for having me and
Of
pushing me.
course. Of
So,
course. Thank you, everyone, for watching this interview. We appreciate you here at the Boss Babe Business Show. Okay, thank you everyone again so much for watching our first interview with Lacole. We had such a great time talking about self-care, changing our habits, letting go of things that don't serve us, sharing your voice. And now we have another interviewee on the show this evening. So welcome, Sherri. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, Katan.
Of course, my pleasure. What we're going to talk about today, I think a lot of people may want to hear about, especially if they have loved ones that they're looking for giving solutions in their life. So I will let you first start by just introducing yourself. Tell us a little bit about you as a person and your story, and then let's learn about your business.
Sure. So I was in the finance industry for many years, kind of known for breaking through a lot of glass ceilings, most recently in the banking and insurance industry. And I had a lot of small business owners who were my customers, small, mid-size businesses, and a lot here locally in Texas, of course. And then I worked in the Medicare space. And so not only from the bank, but also in the Medicare insurance industry, I had a lot of senior clients. And some of them they're like so dear to me. They're like family to me. But oftentimes what would happen is they might take a turn, their health might take a turn, and their families would reach out to me as a resource to try to find things. And I can't even tell you the amount of time I would spend looking for resources for them. It was very much like searching for a needle in a haystack, between the families looking, myself looking, trying to find other people. And I'm pretty well connected and network a lot. So I had a pretty good Rolodex of stuff, but most people don't. And
Yeah.
I remember looking at my husband one day and I just said, it cannot be this hard. It just can't be this hard. So I decided that I knew how to solve that problem. I said to myself, there needs to be like an Angie's List for seniors, Google for seniors, for senior care, like one place you can go. But a lot of what that was needed was not so much the big national things. It was the local things, the sand between the rocks that is the glue that keeps it all together. And I had a deep love for all my business owners, and I see their entrepreneurial spirit, which should be celebrated. I see the grit and the drive they have to get these businesses off the ground, and the good people. And then I see this need in this population of seniors, and I wanted to build a platform that would bring them together. So imagine that you are sitting in Texas and maybe your mom lives in Austin, right? And you're in Fort Worth, and she needs her gutters cleaned. She needs to get her somebody to start coming in and care for the lawns, or maybe just to help her stay a little bit more independent a little bit longer. Well, when you go on any search engine website, you kind of get the big ones, or if you do find the little guys, it's kind of word of mouth and you don't really know. But on our site is an affordable place for the small business owner to be able to platform, and we do the background checks. So everybody on there has a background check, so you don't accidentally send a felon to your mom's house to clean out the gutters, for example, right? And we will take that nationwide next year. We are launching November 1st, a soft launch to beta test it here in DFW. So we're really excited about that. But I really wanted to elevate the local flavor of the business community and the good people that were in the community, and give them a platform to be found, because I really think seniors will support local businesses if they can find them and know they can trust them. That's a big part. They don't want to be scammed. So they tend to gravitate towards larger businesses, big corporations, because they feel like, well, maybe they've been vetted a little bit better, like their employees or something have had a background check. And that is not always the case. But
Very true.
yeah, it is not always the case. So in our site, to be on our site, it's kind of a privilege. It will be exclusive. It will be, if you're there, you have your background's clean. And if they're not licensed professional, we'll be checking that every year. So it's not continuous monitoring, but every year they'll have to recheck their backgrounds.
Credentials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that you mentioned that, something that you said about the seniors, how they tend to go towards people that have more credibility. And I think that that's relatable for a lot of people, even if they're not seniors. There's people who it's like, okay, I want some lipstick, and I'm going to search up some lipstick brands, and I see a brand, but I've never seen them before. I've never heard of them. I don't really have the time to do too much researching because I need it now.
Yeah.
And, the event is coming up. Let me just go ahead and shop on this lipstick brand because they're familiar. And there's another statement that you said too, which is that people assume sometimes that the bigger corporations or a more well-known business is going to be more credible because they're well-known or because they've been around for a long time. And that also is not always the case. So it really is sometimes a case scenario. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's the benefit of a platform like yours, because we take away, of course, it's a system, but we
Yeah.
kind of take away a little bit of that systematic approach when it comes to credibility for shopping. Because you go into, um, let's say you go into Walmart and you need your tire fixed, right? Of
Mhm.
course, they have credible things that you have to do in order to be there, right? But have you checked the specific professional that is working with you, and you've done a background check on them that day? Things like that. And Walmart might not be the best example. There's other
Right.
things, but there's multiple people. Have you
Right.
checked and done a background research, or did you assume that because you were working with that business or corporation that everybody there is going to be where they're supposed to be? And that kind of determines, that's kind of based off of who is managing that place.
Right.
Because there are times we'll hire and they don't necessarily do what they're supposed to because they need people on the floor and they're
Right.
under pressure.
Yes.
And so I've seen it happen in the retail environment and corporate environment. So some of those things that you're looking for may not actually be taking place just because it's a well-known place. It's more about actually making sure that who you're working with is credible. So when it's a one-on-one service providing, like you mentioned, if my mother's in Texas and my friends or my mother's in Texas and I'm in Florida and I want to
Right.
send someone to my mother's home, I'm not going based off of just a corporation. You're doing the actual business that's coming out there to come and check on them. They're getting a background check and then they're able to come to assist her. So
Yeah.
I like
It's
the fact that
Yeah, it's a very needed service to have that level of scrutiny because we look at reviews, we talk to people, they have to provide that. And what's a really neat aspect of our site that we will have is the seniors become the members. And when they are the members of the site, they can rate those providers and give feedback. So a lot of the seniors right now are coming to me and saying, you need to put my roofer on there. He's amazing. He is like family to us. He did such a good job for us. He saved us money. He did this. He brought me a plate of cookies in it. I mean, the stories I hear from the seniors, and they tell me, we need a handyman, or somebody will say, I have a terrific handyman. Well, now they can talk to each other in their own community and rate these providers and leave their experiences with them. So you kind of feel like you really know them on a more personal level before you hire them, right? And so this is they kind of will police themselves, right? And then we're going to be able to bounce any bad actors right off, right? Can't really get kicked off of Google too much, right? You don't get kicked off of Google. You just get your reviews.
Page. Yeah, you can go create got kicked off. Let me go create another page and
exactly. Page, on back, right? And that they won't do that. You can't game the system here. There'll be no gaming the system. Those reviews will be real. They'll be from our members. And so a lot of who's coming in right now, kind of pre-signing up right now, so that when they're there when we launch, are people that have been referred, and we do that. And there is a place for national advertisers. We don't have, we have local insurance agents, but we need a big national company, right? So there are going to be national providers on there, but they'll Better Business Bureau again. What kind of ratings do we have? What kind of reviews are we getting? Are they kind of on the going downhill right now, and they kind of need to bring themselves back up before we put them on our site? Again, we're looking for quality over quantity, and that's really what we want to do. We are protecting a vulnerable population that is terrified of being scammed, or they're vulnerable, right? So we have a duty to look after our seniors in our community, right? And then we also have a duty to help our local business owners as well. I think that it's, when we can. And so I just so love this platform. We will have community pages and all kinds of things that we get to build out in the future. Right now it's about members and, of course, the service providers. That's kind of, that's the bread and butter of the engine. But what we can pour back into it to build out for community pages, to put in video infomercials, to make living commercials for these providers, so that people can really get to know who they are even before they go into the doctor's office. They can see an interview with them and the staff and kind of feel like they are going in warm instead of cold, things like that. So it'll be really amazing I think it will constantly be improving and growing. And we have a feedback tool for the seniors. So we're going to really take it. We're building it for them and around them. So everything is very senior friendly. If you have a shaky hand, you don't have to worry about trying to hover right over this tiny little link. It's a big button. you get anywhere on the button, you'll get to your page that you're trying to get to. It's designed to be big and bold and bright and very easy to maneuver and navigate. So they'll have an easy time with it. That's our hope. That's what we're trying to do. So we're very excited.
I like that. And you said something too. It was about, and then we'll move on after this, but basically them being vulnerable and feeling scared of being scammed. And with the way that technology is going these days, people who are probably resonating with that, because, you know, you have machines that sound like a human. You have people able to create videos that look like a human. So there could be someone that creates a video that says, "Hi, my name is Bob, and today I'm selling shirts," and you click on Bob and it turns out it's not Bob. So, you know, things like that can actually take place with the type of technology that we have. So it's very, I think it's very relatable for seniors, but also for anyone out here that tech is not necessarily their field that they're specializing in, because we all have things that we specialize in. Everybody is not in tech. So if my day-to-day basis requires for me to be out in the field or indoors, you know, apparel industry, I may not be having to deal with tech on a consistent basis to where I'm not mentally remembering, hey, I got to check to make sure this is real. Hey, I can't click on this link. Hey, I have to check by the search engine. So it makes perfect sense. I love the fact that that is something that you're focused on with your brand. And we also shared and talked about as far as like the locations. So you are serving statewide right now, and then you will have some nationwide providers as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We have some nationwide in there now. And then we have, of course, state and local. And then we will be growing pretty quickly. We're just trying to, you know, work out the kinks a little bit, but we have a founder special right now going on. So for not just the providers, the service providers, they'll want to get in on that now, because obviously the more the membership grows, you know, it becomes a little bit more expensive, but we have zip code boosts in there. We have a lot of things we can do to really highlight our members. But right now we have a special for our seniors, anybody 55 and up, and for them to be a lifetime member, it's $1. So just $1 for a lifetime membership. That's it. We really want to make this accessible to everybody. We want everybody to be able to do that. Caregivers, anybody over 18 really can be a member of the site, but we really want to make that accessible because it's going to provide hopefully time saving, a lot of relief, you know, it takes some of the burden off of what it's like to be a caregiver. We'll have resources in there for caregivers. We have that planned. It's coming, resources for caregivers. We'll have articles in there, how to protect yourself, things to think about, you know, in lots of different areas that are specific to seniors. And they won't have to sift through hours and hours of mind-numbing content or bikini-clad selfies to find something that interests them. It will be all geared to interest them. So
yeah, that's a really nice benefit. Okay, and I'm sure anyone will appreciate that, because this day and age, it's like you just see so much, and even with just the advertisements itself, sometimes you're just like, you know, even being someone that has to be on social media for my profession, there's days where I'm just like, there's got to be more.
Post anything to get their 15 minutes. I'm telling you.
There's got to be something to turn this off, because I'm not trying to see this every time I come on this app. So yeah, that is wonderful in itself. Okay, so next question I have for you is, you kind of already to an extent shared the services, but do you want to highlight a little bit deeper what someone would receive if they decide to become a member on both ends, whether it's a business owner or, you know, shop?
Right. So we don't have our concierge service yet, okay, for where we can match for you. So imagine somebody who's very busy like yourself, and you're thinking, I have to find XYZ services for my mom. She's coming home from the hospital. I need to find a rehab. I need to find an in-home care provider. I need to find this, something like that. Right now, it's kind of a do-it-yourself program, right? But it's there for you to connect with all those resources. Where do I find the rehab facility closest to my home? Put in your zip code. It's going to pop up, you know, the people that have joined the site that we vetted. There may be others who haven't gotten to the site yet that are just as good, but at least, you know, in here, we've done some due diligence, right? You're not going to show up to an empty parking lot. And so for our vendors, right now for the people on your site that are listening, if they would like to reach out to us, we have a special right now, and I will give them. Now we only have so many categories in so many spots available in each different category right now. But right now, to be part of that founding layer, we are offering them a full 3 months of advertising packages absolutely free. So they can get in for 3 months with no obligation to stay, no obligation to sign a contract beyond that. They can get 3 months. We will help build the ad for them. We will market them. We will highlight them. We will work with them, and we will be happy to help them grow their business and be a place they can come. The only thing they will have to do is pay for the background check, and that's it. So they'll get $1,500 worth of ad for $99. And that's it. So yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Just for the background.
That's a really amazing offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so amazing, because background check versus way different when it comes to expenses. So
yes. Yeah. It's just the background check. That's it. But everything else we will build, we will highlight, we will zip code boost. We will do all of that for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're excited. And I have a list of probably 10,000 seniors waiting to get on for when we open. So, so they'll get some exposure right away. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next question that I have for you is, do you have any other product or services that you wanted to highlight before we move into the inspirational message of the evening?
Yeah. So I have a podcast called Silver Voices Rising. It is strictly where I interview seniors. These seniors are inspirational to the seniors on the site. So we'll eventually put clips from that onto the Silver Streak Senior Services site as well, because the idea is that we want everybody to thrive, right? So there's some amazing seniors. I have interviewed seniors that were Harvard professors that have now retired and written beautiful books on retirement and highlighting all the amazing things about our golden years. I've interviewed doctors that were Olympic doctors, right? And they were given months to live, and they're now in their 70s hiking mountains, right? And they talk about their journey to health and fitness and just how much better it's gotten even after retirement and into their golden years, and what they're doing to stay alive and thrive. So those voices of inspiration and people who've accomplished great things in history that, we're standing on the backs of what they've accomplished. Those will be the kind of people that we highlight for our site and for the seniors. So that'll be on YouTube. I haven't dropped any videos yet. I'm kind of stacking them up till I can get ahead a little bit, and then we'll start dropping those. You know how that goes. And then and then of course the launch is taking a little time right now. So, but yeah, I'm very excited about that, because again, to be able to offer that inspiration and let people know that it's really not all bad. There's a lot of good to growing older. There's a lot of really good stuff too. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It was the feedback was a little slower.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I was just saying, I love the fact that you mentioned that, like, there's a beauty in aging and enjoying your life and all the knowledge that comes with it. So this is a wonderful platform for anyone out there that is a senior and a business owner, or just a business owner. I think that you should definitely go and check them out. And do some research, ask some questions, because these are the kind of opportunities that really do help you with finding your tribe and people that align with what your mission is and what you're about. So if you're about community support, providing quality services, then you may want to go and take a look. Okay, so now that you've shared that, what would you say, what is going to be the inspirational message that you would like to leave with everyone to think about over the weekend?
I would like to tell them that really aging, you can age, or you can age with beauty and grace. And that's really what we want to help each other do, is to age with beauty and grace. Seniors are really like a golden thread that can stitch our whole community together and uplift our community. So we need to have grace with one another. It's coming for all of us. It's coming that age is coming for all of us. We can embrace it and lean into it and accept it for what it is, and make it something beautiful and some of our best years ever, or we can let it beat us up and die slowly in our recliner. And so I hope that this site is something that is inspiring people to be able to thrive when and where they can. I think we should all do that.
That's beautiful. I agree with you. I feel like this society sometimes places limits, or that social time clock of when you can for yourself, when you're allowed to be happy, when you're allowed to be free, when you're allowed to be bold. And so you get to ages in your life where you look back and people around you are saying, even though you want to do something, the people around you are making you feel as if you can't do that because you're in that age. You can't go out and have fun and go on dates because you're 40 or you're 50 or you're 60. So you have to have already had life figured out by now, and you can't have anything that you want to explore at this point in time in your life. And so it's very common, and I'm learning this from my clients and people in my network, that when someone has a dream or when someone wants to pursue something, when they're at a certain age, people tend to be extremely negative about that. And it's normal for them. Like, I had someone on a previous interview say he was talking about how his business was going to explode. And someone was like, well, you're already this age or something. And I was like, who does that? But for someone to say that out loud, that just shows you how normal it is for people to feel like you have to stop living and enjoying yourself once you reach a certain milestone. So
Yeah.
I definitely resonate with that. And it's a conversation that I have. You shouldn't let anybody else's social clock or insecurities stop you from doing what you love, or just enjoying yourself and being that light to your community, because you never know who you find out there.
Oh, yeah.
So
70's
I
the new
definitely
50.
do.
70's the new 50, 50's the new 30. It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. There's
30's the new 15.
there's so much more life left to live. And you really don't have to worry about kids. You get to nurture yourself and your community and take up new hobbies and learn things. I mean, you can have a lot going on. There's some seniors out there that can run circles around me, let me tell you. And I'm honored to know each and every one of them. I get so much wisdom and grace from them. I really do. And I just love them. I appreciate them so much. So I am so happy. This is like my gift back to them, because they have always, even in banking, they would come and visit me and talk to me, and I would learn so much. I'd hang on all of their words. Some of them were captains of industry, retired, sharing things with me. I appreciated that so much. So this is like my gift back to all of them, to make a site that will hopefully, make their lives easier.
Yeah. I definitely can resonate with you on the positive impact that they have for people. So, just leaning into that and learning more about them and what they have to offer. The experience, I think that your platform, your podcast is going to be amazing for that too. So I would like to say thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing your solution. I hope that anyone out there listening to this, whether you are someone that knows someone that might need these kind of services and support, or you're someone that's been doubting yourself and thinking about whether or not you should do the things that you love, that you take advantage of this opportunity to network with somebody who could probably help you, or at least give you some resources to put you in the right direction. Because I just got done interviewing Lacole Smith, founder of AL Publishing and Consulting, and she was sharing a very important topic about how, you just never know in life. Life is not promised. And so every day should be dedicated to doing something that aligns with who you are and the legacy that you want to leave for people when they think of you. So if you're not doing that, you're not living in your calling. So make sure that you reach out to professionals, people, resources, places, platforms that can encourage you to do that, so you can live your life with richness versus being insecure or projecting those insecurities on other people because you didn't go for it yourself. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. We learned a lot of great things on this show tonight. Wonderful interviews. We also learned that 70 is a new 50. So if you guys, anything positive, please leave comments, tell us how you feel, and make sure to follow these amazing professionals so that you can go and be a part of their mission. Thank you so much, Sherri. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Katan. It was very nice to meet you tonight and to be here and to be a part of your audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And I will see you next Thursday at the Boss Babe Business Show. Sneak peek as to what our everyone has an opportunity to win a fan that has a flashlight on it, so you can come and watch us and join in. And everyone who watches to let me know that you watched will receive tickets to go into our raffle for